Hey folks, Deano here again, and yep, this time we're looking at another Dragon Ball Evolved figure from Bandai. This is Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegeta. For some reason they're still using that terminology. But yeah, like I said in the Goku review, if you've watched it, I was in Tesco, actually doing my Christmas shop. And noticed that not only did they have the Broly trio back in stock, they also had them reduced. So yeah, got both figures for 17 quid, which is a bit of a steal in my opinion. Yeah, let's take a quick look at the box. Nice picture of Vegeta there. These are actually really good, like, the drawings of them, honestly. Dragon Ball Evolve logo, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, bizarre, and a picture of the three of them on the back of the box, with Vegeta looking quite cool, with his foot on something, don't know. But yeah, like I said in the Goku review, Broly was there, but I didn't buy him because he's massively underscaled. He was pretty much the same size as Goku, just a bit bulkier, which isn't correct in the slightest. They could have probably got away with it if they would have just made him Super Saiyan Broly, which for some reason they've named him Super Saiyan Broly, but the normal Super Saiyan, as opposed to Legendary Super Saiyan, or whatever they're calling that form of Broly now. I think it's Super Saiyan Full Power, which I prefer Legendary Super Saiyan myself. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. So yeah, taking a look at Vegeta himself. Unfortunately, Vegeta is a little bit of a mess. He's a kind of wonky figure. The sculpt itself is pretty decent. I actually had a few people telling me that he scaled quite well with figure arts, but he's a bit underscaled. He's not as underscaled as Goku, because to be honest, Goku is almost the same size as Vegeta. I didn't mention that in his review, but yeah, honestly, it's less that Goku's underscaled and more that Vegeta is overscaled. But I suppose making him any smaller would probably have been a mistake. So yeah, I can see what they were doing. In terms of other details, like Goku, they painted the bottom of his feet, but didn't paint the more obvious detail, which is the yellow on these boot tips. I don't understand why, especially considering they had the yellow on hand, but they didn't do it. Like, that would have literally cost you pennies, Bandai. I don't get it. Leaving that unpainted is like just as bad as leaving his shoulders unpainted. Like, honestly. I don't really get it. What I do like though is, again, the metallic hair. Unfortunately, whoever sculpted Vegeta's head has not only got it far too small, like, why is it that small? It's also pointing backwards, so it makes it look even smaller face on. But yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment. You wouldn't be able to use that on a figure arts at all, unfortunately. Although the face details actually look a bit better than Goku's. You can make out the face and the nose and such. Usually on these evolved figures, the details are kind of lost in the face. But yeah, other than that, greys are painted fine. The yellow on the chest armour's painted fine. Well, apart from the back. There's a nice big splotch there. But you never got to see that. But yeah, only other bits I can see, the cuffs are painted white, which is it white? No, it's more likely that the upper arm, or the lower arm at the elbow, has actually been painted the dark colour to match. Because as you can see, it's a slightly different colour, and it's also more matte. But yeah, I can see why they did that. The boots actually look as if they're a different sculpt to the lower leg. You can actually make out just a little bit of glue there, which it's easily covered, I suppose. But yeah, getting into the bad part is articulation. You would think like a figure basically in a spandex suit would have some pretty decent articulation, and for the most part it does, but this chest piece, like, I do not know what they were thinking with that. Why is the chest piece so much bigger than the rest of it? Not only that, it's so loose. Like, once you push it past that middle ground, it just falls on itself. Like, he breaks his back. But yeah, let's go into articulation proper, shall we? So he looks up that much. Doesn't really look down at all. He just looks forward. Arms can go up that far. They've got the little plastic cover covering up a barbell joint. Can get swivel quite nicely. Again, just like Goku, you push it too far, it will pop off, but that one's a bit easier to put on. Butterfly joint doesn't really work on this guy, unfortunately. That's mostly because this entire chest piece is a bit too big, in my opinion. It does have bicep swivel. Single joint at the elbow, gets about 90. He's got hinge and swivel at the wrist, which thankfully they gave him fists. Kind of wish they would have given that to Goku, but hey-oh. He does get a fair amount of motion in the abs and a bit in the waist, but like I said before, that's purely down to the fact that the upper half is oversized and the ball peg is a bit loose. So yeah, waist can swivel. He gets the complete Van Damme splits, same joints that they use on all the Revolve figures. You can kick up that much. Single joint at the knee, but it gets quite good range for that, despite this weird sort of hook that comes out of his knee. No boot swivel. The feet do have really good ankle rocker, and they do go down, but you go past a certain point and they pop out. So yeah, all in all, at least on my copy, unfortunately not one I can recommend really. If you can get him standing in place and such, he looks okay, but yeah, he's a bit off. Here he is compared to the figure arts, which, as you can see, unlike what some people said in the comments, he is nowhere near scaled enough. He's a bit too small for Vegeta. You could futz it, but is it worth trying, honestly, for such an awkward looking figure? But yeah, obviously you could swap out these hands and such if you had any. I would believe Vegeta Blue has Kamehameha hands, which could give him for Final Flash, but I did not purchase that figure, I didn't really have an interest in it. I've got a good Vegeta. But yeah, honestly guys, if you really wanted to try and put this guy into your display, who am I to stop you? But I can't in good faith recommend him. If you're getting one of them, get the Goku. Even though he's not playing ball with me. No, just put him away. But yeah guys, that'll do it for this review. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see y'all later.